Welcome to my Abyssal Sire guide for noobs. Now, why would you kill the Abyssal Sire? Well, the drops are fantastic with a GE average of 48,839 GP per kill, and that's without the unsired drops. With the unsired drops, you get a chance at items like Abyssal Whips, the Bludgeon Pieces, and also the Abyssal Dagger, which is a very profitable item to get. And to be honest, it's not a hard boss to kill. Now, we're going to go into the requirements. So, for the requirements, you need 85 Slayer, and you have to be on an Abyssal Demon task. Along with this, you also need partial completion of Fairy Tale Part 2, so you have access to the fairy rings, and this is your best way of getting here. So, for the recommended stats, I highly recommend having 85 plus in all of your melee stats. This is going to give you the sort of best DPS to be able to actually kill him. I also recommend 70 prayer, and that is so you can use piety, which is going to speed up your kills considerably. So the best way to get to the Abyssal Sire is to use a fairy ring with the code DIP. This gets you to the Abyssal Nexus, as so. And now there are 4 different ways you can go with a boss at the end of each of them. Now there's a quick way to see if there's anyone in the area, so you can run up to these eyes and peek this. As you can see, there is no adventure in this chamber, and it also then gives you a time of how long it's been empty for. So that's only been empty for 49 seconds. Chances are someone might be coming back there in a minute. So if we go to another one and peek, no adventure in this cave, and it's been empty for a while now. So let's go in and go all the way in. So you basically just follow this chamber all the way to the end. It's pretty long, so make sure you walk it if you haven't got a high agility level and you're worried about stamina. There's not much running within this, so it's not too bad. But as you can see, the Abyssal Sire is right at the end of this chamber, and we are now here ready to kill the boss. So next we are going to go over the gear. Now the boss is primarily melee based, so you want your best melee gear possible. You do want the Slayer Helm, as he is going to be on task. And as you can see, my setup, you just want to maximize your melee strength as much as possible. You do want some sort of arrows in your ammo slot, and this is for phase 1. We'll go over that a little bit more later. As for your weapon, for phase 1, you are going to want a ranged weapon or magic, but ideally you are going to want the Scorching Bow, as this does one-shot all the respiratory systems. However, this can also be done in 2 shots if you have a weapon that has a 50 plus max hit. Now, you are guaranteed at least 50% to 100% damage for each cast of a normal item. So as long as your max hit is above 50, you can still one down the 4 respiratory systems. Now for phase 2, ideally an Ember Light is definitely going to increase your DPS quite a lot. However, you can get away with an Arc Light. Personally, I would go for a Tormented Bow over the Ember Light if you want to get those first couple kills in and start learning the boss. So for your inventory, basically you are going to need your switch weapon for phase 1. You're going to want to bring a combat potion, and you need some sort of antidote plus or anti-poison, as the boss can poison you if you do make a mistake. Along with that, you are going to want some sort of prayer potions or super restores, the best food you can bring, house teleports, as you are going to be on the ancient spell book, and in your rune pouch you are going to want your best runes for casting your best shadow spell. So before we jump into the boss mechanics, there is a Runelite plugin that can help out a little bit, and it is called Tile Packs. If you don't already have it installed, you can get it from the plugin hub. Now if you just type in tile, there we go, there is Tile Packs, and then you can install that. You will then get this icon on the side here, and then you can add loads of different things, and one of them is the Abyssal Sire. Now that just adds a few little helpful areas where you can stand and move to, which can help with the boss fight. So now we are going to go over the boss mechanics. Now the Abyssal Sire has 3 different phases. In phase 1, basically all you need to do is stun the boss and then kill the respiratory systems. You stun the boss by either dealing 75 damage, or a much faster and the suggested way is using your best shadow spell. They each have different percentages, but the very best one has a 100% chance of landing and stunning. So all you have to do is cast your shadow spell on the Abyssal Sire. As soon as you hear the land splat, you then go and attack the respiratory systems. Obviously, if you are using the Tormented Bow, you can do it in one shot. If you're using another weapon, you might have to do 2 shots. And then once you've finished that, you can go back to the Sire and start attacking him while he switches into his next phase. Now the boss is in phase 2. This is pretty simple. He attacks with melee, so make sure Protect from Melee is on. And he has 2 specials. The first looks and sounds like this. The Sire spawns a miasma pool underneath of you, and as soon as you see it, you just move to the side and avoid all damage. The next special is a little spawn that looks like this. These have 15 health, you can easily kill them, but if you have decent enough DPS, you can kind of just ignore it and carry on with the boss. Once the Sire hits below 200 health, he starts moving towards the centre. At this point, you just want to put on Prey Range and keep that on for the rest of the fight. So for phase 3, you want Protect from Range up. He spawns 4 minions, which you want to ignore, but he also constantly spawns miasma pools underneath you. Now, the best way to deal with these is to wait for it to disappear and then move. So keep moving. Every time it goes to disappear, you move again and keep attacking the boss. Now, once the boss hits 140 health, he then teleports you in front of him. So if you don't move away straight away, he is going to deal some insane damage, so make sure you move. So to deal with this, as soon as you are teleported, click 2 tiles away and then spam click Sire. As soon as you go and attack him, that teleportation attack's over. Now throughout this phase, he also does the miasma pools. When you do the teleport dodge, he will automatically spawn one. You should get 2 attacks before you move again, and then another 2 attacks, and then you can move again. Basically, similar to the other side, as soon as you see it disappear, that's when to click. And then after 3, he stops doing them all together, and you can just kill the boss. It's pretty much just a DPS check at the end. You can use your specs, but hopefully you kill him before he kills you. So we are going to do a couple quick kills of Sire. Full kills, so we can see. You basically cast your Shadow Barrage or your best shadow spell possible. Wait for the Sire to be stunned. As soon as you hear the sound, you can start attacking the respiratory systems. I kind of wait until I get the XP drop, 200, and I know I've one-shot it. If not, sometimes it does take a couple shots. If you've got a worse weapon, it may take a couple shots, but you should have plenty of time. I then get 3 shots off on the Sire before switching to my melee gear, putting on my quick prayers, which are set up to Piety and Protect from Melee. Miasma spawn underneath me, so we just move 2 tiles away. I then move back there because that's the tile I like to run away from. You then just sort of sit back, relax, hit the boss, getting ready to run at any moment if a miasma pool spawns under you. And then as soon as we get him down to 200 health, which should be any second now, he'll start moving towards the centre. Make sure you keep your prayers up at all times. Here we go. So he starts moving towards the centre. You put Protect from Range on now. So as soon as the minions spawn, we click over here to dodge the first miasma pool, and then you just keep poking and moving. Straight away, we've already hit the damage, so we do the teleport, step away, go back in and hit him. Wait for 2 hits, and then we move. 1 hit, 2 hits, and we move. And now that's the 3rd miasma pool, so we can just stay there, but it's alright, because he's already dead. And it's as simple as that. What I'll do now is another run through. We'll heal up and make sure we are dosed up on our prayer potions. Switch to my range weapon so we can kill the respiratory systems and cast the Shadow Barrage. And that's how it means he's stunned, so we then start attacking them. Wait for those XP drops. If we miss one, we can just go back in for a second shot. As I said, there's plenty of time to get 2 shots off, and then we go back and attack the Abyssal Sire. So we're going to go for 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits, and then I switch to my melee gear, and then we just get ready to move, just in case he does one of the miasma pools. And that is the spawn, so he spawned one of the little things. My DPS is pretty decent, so I'm just going to leave that. He can do a little bit of damage and it can chip away, so if you're a bit more low defense, you might think about killing them, but for me it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so we've done enough damage to get him to go into the centre of the room. We put our protect from range on, and then we move over to dodge any of the miasma pools, and then we get ready to watch it disappear, to move back, and it doesn't matter because we're getting teleported already. Step away for the teleport, click back, and then after 2 hits, we move to the next tile. 1 hit, 2 hits, and then that's the last of the miasma pool, so we can just stand on this tile now and keep on hitting him. And there we go, and that is another Abyssal Sire done. As you can see, not too much to it, to be honest. It's pretty easy. It does can do a lot of damage. Those spawns can do quite a bit of damage, but apart from that, it's not too bad. So yeah, there we go. It's actually not too bad a boss once you get it down. I hope this guide helped you out. If it did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, expect to go forever dry out Abyssal Sire and never get a drop. So make sure you do that. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.